The Hulkster's final fight, a legacy beyond time. Hulk Hogan. The name alone resonates through the very core of professional wrestling. His impact on the sport is immeasurable, and the story of his career is one of triumph, perseverance, and unmatched charisma. But like all legends, there comes a time when even the strongest must face their greatest adversary. Time. For Hulk Hogan, his final fight wasn't against another wrestler in the ring. It wasn't a battle for a championship belt or the roar of the crowd. No, Hulk Hogan's greatest fight was a personal one, a fight to leave behind a legacy so powerful, so impactful, that it would transcend the limits of his career. His final fight was against time itself, with every moment ticking away as he fought to preserve the essence of Hulkamania, the legacy of a man who changed the world of wrestling forever. The Casket Procession, a symbol of legacy. The Casket Procession, slow and steady, symbolizes more than just a goodbye. It marks the end of a chapter, but it also marks the beginning of something greater. The world may have seen Hulk Hogan's last match years ago, but his story never truly ends. It is one that lives on in the hearts of millions, with every Hulkamania chant, every fan that wore a bandana, every person who believed they could be more than they were because of him. When we say goodbye to a hero, it is easy to think of the loss, the empty space where the icon once stood, the cheers that will no longer echo in the arenas. But Hulk Hogan's final fight wasn't just about stepping away from the ring. It was about ensuring his influence would remain forever. As the casket moves forward, there is a realization that his legacy, one that began in the 1980s with a simple slogan, "Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and believe in yourself," has etched itself into the fabric of not just wrestling, but the world. A life defined by resilience. Hulk Hogan was no stranger to adversity. His rise to the top was marked by setbacks, many that would have defeated lesser men. He faced challenges both inside and outside the ring. Yet, time and time again, he proved that no obstacle was insurmountable. His resilience became a symbol of what it meant to persevere, to keep fighting even when the odds seemed stacked against you. Whether it was his battles with rivals like Andre the Giant, the Ultimate Warrior, or Stone Cold Steve Austin, or his personal struggles away from the spotlight, Hulk Hogan fought each challenge like it was his final match. And in a way, that spirit is what made him more than just a wrestler. It made him a symbol, a hero to millions, teaching them the value of strength, determination, and a little bit of charisma. The essence of Hulkamania, his positivity, his resilience, his larger-than-life persona, is what lives on even after the last bell has rung. The heart of Hulkamania, fans and immortality. When you think of Hulk Hogan, you don't just think about the moments in the ring. You think about the fans, the thousands who gathered, fists raised, chanting his name. The Hulkamaniacs, who followed him not because he was the best wrestler, though he was, but because he stood for something bigger. Hope, dreams, and believing in yourself. As the casket moves slowly through the procession, it's not just a loss of a figurehead, it's the end of an era. But even in this moment of sorrow, there is a profound sense of pride. The fight to preserve Hulk Hogan's legacy is just beginning. It lives on in every fan who continues to wear his t-shirts, sing his theme song, and tell stories of his unforgettable moments. Hogan's influence was never confined to the squared circle. His message transcended wrestling. He became a household name, known around the world. Every victory, every setback, every roar of Hulkamania was a piece of him that was immortalized in the hearts of his fans. And even though his body may have slowed, his presence in the wrestling world will never be forgotten. A fight that never ends. As the casket makes its final journey, it marks the end of Hulk Hogan's fight against time. But his story, his Hulkamania, will never truly fade. The fight to ensure his place in history is an ongoing one. A fight that is carried on by the millions who still remember the immense impact he had on the sport and the world. What does it mean to be immortal? Is it to live forever in the flesh? Or is it to live forever in the minds and hearts of the people you inspired? Hulk Hogan proved that immortality doesn't require eternal youth. It requires leaving a mark so powerful that it echoes across generations. And that's what he did. Every time a new wrestler steps into the ring and raises their hands in victory, a little piece of Hulkamania lives on. Every time a fan proudly wears a Hulk Hogan shirt or chants his name, they are participating in his final fight, one where the Hulkster's legacy will never die. Every memory, Every iconic moment, every time someone says, "What you gonna do, brother?" It's a reminder that Hulk Hogan's spirit is eternal. The final battle may have been against time itself, but in the hearts of fans, Hulk Hogan will never lose the fight. The Casket Procession, an emotional tribute to Hulk Hogan. The casket was draped in red and yellow, carried by giants The Undertaker, Kane, Big Show, and Flair. Each step heavy with history, each face carved with emotion. Hogan wasn't just a man, he was a movement, a stillness in the arena. For once, there was no pyrotechnics, no entrance music, no chants, just silence. Inside the sold-out stadium, usually pulsing with the thunder of cheers and slams against the mat, a stillness had settled, an unfamiliar reverence that blanketed the crowd like fog. Fans stood shoulder to shoulder, many with tears streaking down painted faces. No one spoke. They didn't need to. At the end of the aisle, beneath a single spotlight lay the casket. It was massive, befitting the man it held. Draped in his iconic red and yellow colors, it shimmered softly under the lights. A folded bandana, carefully laid atop, rippled slightly in the breeze of the arena's air system. The bandana had once been wrapped around a forehead that had headlined decades of history. Then came the bearers, The Undertaker, stoic and composed, though a storm raged behind his eyes. Kane, who once feuded with him in fire and fury, now walked for him in grief. Big Show, tears silently cutting down his massive cheeks. Ric Flair, his white hair like a crown of memories, lips trembling. They carried not just a man, they carried an era, the immortal legacy. Hulk Hogan was more than a wrestler. He was a household name, a pop culture icon, a generational hero. For many, he was the first glimpse into the world of professional wrestling. To kids in the 80s and 90s, he wasn't just a performer, he was a superhero come to life. When Real American played through CRT televisions across the country, it meant something. It meant justice. It meant strength. It meant that good would prevail. And now, the man who once shook the earth by body slamming Andre the Giant was being lowered into it. In those early years, no one filled an arena like Hogan. He wasn't just a main event, he was the event. He made wrestling bigger than the ring. He brought it into the mainstream, into movies, into the collective soul of a generation that desperately needed heroes in Technicolor tights. But beyond the leg drops and flexing, there was Terry Bollea, the man behind the muscles. Flawed, human, real. This wasn't just the funeral of Hulk Hogan. It was the funeral of childhoods, of Saturday mornings, of action figures and finger-pointing showdowns. It was the funeral of an era, the final bell. As the casket approached center ring, a bell tolled. 10 times, slow, measured, painful. Each ring echoed not just through the arena, but through time. With every chime, memories unfurled like banners in the mind's eye. Hogan standing in the Silverdome, pointing at Andre with the fire of 1,000 suns. The electric roar of WrestleMania 6 as he passed the torch to the Ultimate Warrior. The shocking heel turn that birthed the NWO, redefining what heroes and villains looked like. That red and yellow comeback where Hulkamania rose again like a phoenix. And then the quieter moments, visiting children in hospitals, always staying in character. Consoling rookies backstage, laughing, telling stories, signing autographs until his hand cramped. For every slam in the ring, there was a softer legacy that fans seldom saw. A man who knew the weight of being larger than life and carried it for decades.